Salve onorevoli, rieccoci qui, un nuovissimo episodio. Siamo su The Dwarven. Io sono l'Arax di Cormaris e nello scorso episodio ci eravamo lasciati con il nostro arrivo. The Dwarves, vabbè. Con il nostro arrivo a questa cittadella abbiamo fatto il fabbro, abbiamo scoperto che quei cavalieri stavano tramando qualcosa. Ma ad ogni modo, noi continuiamo il nostro percorso. Direi che la via più saggia sarebbe questa qui, che sembra quella più civilizzata. Quindi avanziamo con totale tranquillità. Che strano che non succede assolutamente nulla. Facciamo una piccola deviazione qui.
The hamlet of Sungird certainly lives up to its name. You arrive as the sun sets behind the tower of a Palandial temple, lighting up its stained glass. There's a shop in the village, and through the window, as well as some everyday objects and food, you also spy a shelf full of books.
Entra nella bottega.
A small bell rings as you enter the shop. The twins look around, but seem rather disinterested, until they discover a couple of gemstones on display. On the wall to your left is the bookshelf you saw through the window. It's quite unusual for a village shop to sell books.
Perché giustamente la gente è ignorante. Guarda lo scaffale.
You stroll towards the bookshelf and read some of the titles written on the spines of the books. You know many of the works from Lot Yonan's library.
Oh, by fracas, look, dear brother! The scholar really is looking at books!
It's an interesting selection, Boindle. I could make some recommendations for you.
Boindle throws his arm around your shoulder and pulls you slowly away from the bookshelf.
What if someone sees you? Here, this is more our kind of thing.
You follow him reluctantly and are shown the selection of gemstones.
Mostrami cosa da vendere. Come sempre non moltissimo, però proseguiamo.
Boindle is walking next to you in silence. Now and then he looks at you from the side.
And you really do like books?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm curious. And you could find many answers in books.
Won't you have found all the answers at some point?
Quite the
Non è
contrary.
detto.
The more books you read, the more questions you ask.
Ah, I knew it. Oh,
Appunto.
just a waste of time.
No, dai.
You approach the village and can tell even from far off that something isn't right. The smell of burnt wood and death is in the air.
Iniziamo bene, signori, iniziamo benissimo.
By Vracus.
Ok.
The piggies have really shown those pointy ears. We couldn't have done it any better.
Stay alert. I want to find out what happened to Guren.
Ma l'hanno appeso all'albero.
The elf maiden's graceful snow-white face still radiates beauty, in terrible contrast to the rest of her appearance.
Immagino.
From the neck down, she is nothing more than a blood-red, damp and glistening
Quindi
skeleton.
l'hanno
There are
spogliata.
long nails sticking through her thin bones, and where her beautiful eyes once were, are now gaping black holes.
Molto artistico, c'è da dire.
The smell of the smoke has accompanied you for a while now, but here, so close to the bodies, it is masked by the sweet smell of death. You have a bitter taste in your mouth and have to pull yourself together to avoid vomiting in disgust.
Qui. Quadro l'hanno lasciato
The
intero, che
hand that
strano.
painted this picture was that of a master. It is composed exclusively in shades of red, but every single little detail is painstakingly and precisely reflected. Trees, the remains of buildings, bodies. You hesitate.
This picture portrays the village in its
Ecco.
state of ruin.
Examining the canvas more closely, you realize that it is actually made of skin.
Io lo
And the
prenderei
red paint
comunque.
seems more
Però
than
comunque
suspicious
apprezzabile
now.
l'artisticità di ciò che ha fatto.
This is the most disgusting thing I have ever seen.
Già. Io l'avrei tenuto, onestamente, però io e sono una persona brutta. Non so se saremmo venuti prima avremmo potuto cambiare la cosa, però non ne ho idea, onestamente. Anche perché noi quelle 3 armate sappiamo cosa hanno fatto, perché l'abbiamo sentita. Ci va qui, giusto? Sì.
You have read about the elves and their buildings. This here had always just been a small example of their architectural skill, which achieved perfection in Alandur. Now burning and ruined, the pavilion makes an even sadder impression.
Ok. Però ci sono impronte di zoccoli, quindi qui è passato uno degli alberi.
Hoofprints burned into the ground.
Hellfire?
The fire in Boindill's eyes flares up with delight.
Huzzah! That would make a change from those stupid Peggies. Did you hear that, brother? We might get to test our blades on Tion's pointy ears.
Non ne sarei così felice anche perché sembrano leggermente più forti, o quantomeno noi non siamo decisamente ancora pronti ad affrontarli.
Green Glade was one of the few places in Girdlegard where humans and elves live together. You don't see any elven features among all the faces contorted with pain and fear. You look away.
Oh, sei troppo sensibile, amico mio, che cazzo. Un po' più di impassibilità, alla fine siamo in guerra, non dovresti stupirti per queste minuzie. Ma qui posso entrare, sì. Non hai detto che trovi qualcosa di utile, però posso entrare. Eccolo. Guarda i libri.
The Magus had these books on him when he was attacked. Was he trying to bring them to safety?
Your eyes fall upon a sealed letter next to the books. The circumstances seem grave enough for you to break the seal.
Greetings, Toga. I am glad to hear that you finally wish to confide in Lot Yonan. I have found out something new about the demon. It's all written in these books. I think they are the key to his destruction, or I hope so, at least. Yours faithfully, Goren. What demon are they talking about?
You instinctively think about how the magical barrier is only a few days' march north of here, and beyond it, Varakas only knows what kind of creatures live in the Perish Land.
You destroyed my painting. Now I need fresh blood to paint a new one.
Oh, andiamo solo per il quadro.
Huzzah! This will be fun. We finally get to fight.
I hope your blood doesn't clot too much. It has to be nice and fluid for my fine brushstrokes.
Quindi sono anche mentalmente instabili, non sono solo i cattivi di turno.
Oh, only 3. That makes it easier.
She looks over the corpses.
Otharin Lueth Buanre.
Non l'ha fatto veramente. L'ha fatto
That's
veramente.
the perished land.
Impossible. Greenglade is south of the barrier.
I know of nothing else that can resurrect the dead. Knock their heads off or they'll keep coming back.
Che cazzo di follia! Tu, ecco.
Yes?
Ok.
Huh?
Andiamo così.
Yes?
Attacca. Oh, ma gli faccio un botto di
What is
danni.
it?
Pensavo molto peggio.
Huh?
Ok.
And what now?
Ok, continua a
Come here,
attaccare.
you.
Tu?
Yes.
Mm. Che cazzo sto vedendo? Ha caricato in maniera cattivissima.
At once. For Vracus. Understood. At once.
Ok.
Understood. On my way.
Dove cazzo sei andato?
Understood.
Too easy.
No, no.
End it.
Pow! Another one bites the
Ok.
dust.
Non ha funzionato.
What
Bene.
is it?
Perché non gli abbiamo fatto
What
danno?
is it?
Tu che cazzo stai facendo? Ah, lui si è infuriato, bene. È incontrollabile.
Yes.
Tu dove sei? Ah, ok, allora tu vai di questo. Così almeno gli allontaniamo un minimo. Tu inizi a attaccare lui.
Attack!
Ok.
End it.
Abbiamo fatto anche un bel po' di danno, ma non muore, porco giura. O c'è qualcosa che ci siamo persi? O non capisco.
Yes. Oh, for you.
Ok, lui l'abbiamo ucciso.
With pleasure.
Ah, quindi dobbiamo pure uccidere giù, porco Giuda, per questo non riuscivamo.
Huzzah!
Ok.
Come here, you.
Yes.
Butta giù una pozione.
At once.
Yeah.
Ok.
And what now?
Oh no, è andato di nuovo in come cazzo si
What
chiama?
is it?
In iper rabbia. Ah, questa però non me l'aspettavo onestamente.
Oh, what bad luck for you.
Giù la
I
testa.
didn't hit you very hard.
Ok. Sto cazzo di cavallo di merda. Che poi dobbiamo selezionare uno alla volta, avete capito?
What are you doing with your axes over here? Vile creature.
And again.
Huh?
Ok, tu che stai messo
On my
malissimo.
All right.
Ah, è stordito.
On
Bene.
my way. Who's next?
Ok.
All right.
Ok, il cavallo è andato. Per ora. I semimorti a che punto stanno? Sono più o meno morti.
Attack. For Vracus.
Another one bites the dust.
Ok.
For Vracus.
He hardly put up a fight.
End it.
Ok. Stiamo continuando per bene.
Yes. Say goodbye forever. With pleasure.
Perché sarei stato sconfitto, scusami? Cioè, esistevo ancora, ero vivo, funzionavo. Cosa non andava? Quantomeno ora abbiamo capito qual è la cazzata che facciamo sempre. Perché continuavano a tornare? Prima di tutto, dobbiamo mettere... tu vai giù di pozioni. E sì, ci dobbiamo organizzare per bene.
And what
Inizio.
now? Huh?
Ok. Iniziamo buttando giù il cavallo.
Huh? Yes, yes.
Ok.
Yes. Attack. For Vracus.
Ok.
What is
1,
it?
2. Perfetto.
And what now?
E mentre tu tieni l'impegnato, come è giusto che sia.
Too easy.
Ok.
Huh?
Giù da porco.
What is it?
Abbiamo sprecato un sacco di mana.
Oh, what bad luck for you.
Ok. Dimmi che abbiamo un pochino più di mana. Sì. Abbiamo mancato, seriamente.
Huh? With pleasure. Pow! Another one bites the dust.
Ok.
Say goodbye forever.
No, attacca quello per terra. Vabbè.
As good as done. I didn't hit you very hard.
Ok.
Too easy.
Pretty hard.
Say
Ok.
goodbye forever.
Butta giù una bella pozioncina.
At once. Understood.
Ok.
He hardly put up a fight.
Vai giù.
I didn't hit you very hard.
Uff. Sono molto più complicati di quello che credessi.
Yes.
Tanto più complicati di quello che credessi.
All right. Oh, what
Okay.
bad luck for you. All
Ok.
right. As good as done. All right.
Ma prima stordisci cavallo. Ok. E buonanotte al cavallo.
Yes? End it, vile creature.
Ok.
For Brachus.
Ok.
What is it?
Sta funzionando per ora.
Say goodbye forever. What is it?
Buttalo giù.
Ha ha.
Ok. È andato in furia. Tu. C'è roba per terra, per curiosità. Ok.
Ow! Another one bites the dust.
End it.
Ok, un altro se ne va.
For Brachus. And again.
Ok.
Vile creature.
Bene.
What is it?
Sta funzionando. Con tutte le probabilità sta funzionando.
On my way. With pleasure.
Ok, tu ti concentri qui.
And what now? Come here, you.
Figlio di Troia.
Yes? End it. Kill.
I didn't hit you very
Ok.
hard.
Facciamone cadere qualcun altro.
Attack. Vile creature.
Ok.
Huh?
Tu mi usi questo.
Huh?
Tu ti scoli un'altra bella bottigliozza.
Oh,
Ok.
what bad luck for you. With
Ok.
pleasure. I didn't hit you
Guarda
very
che ci
hard.
siamo.
Say goodbye forever.
Aia.
What is it?
Io è andato
What
di
is
nuovo
it?
in berserker. Ce la possiamo fare, eh? Ce la stiamo gestendo. Se può sembrare.
At once. For Brachus.
Ow! Hey!
Ok.
And again. Understood.
Ok.
Attack. On my way.
Yeah! He hardly put up a fight.
At once. End it. Killed.
And what now? Yes?
Huh?
What is it?
Tu fai un salto e ti metti distante.
Huh?
Ti dai il colpo di grazia. Tu dai il colpo di grazia.
Yeah!
Ok.
As good as done.
Killed.
Pow! Another one bites the dust.
No, non è il momento, porco puttana.
Huh?
Cioè,
What is
Che
it?
cos'è quella cosa che cammina a due zampe?
Say goodbye forever.
Vai così. Ok, pulito e semplice. Cioè, pulito un par di palle, abbiamo soffocato la cosa. Che cazzo?
Dwarves, you protected the glade.
Ma tu non eri morta? Ma no, non togli la manina, lascia fare, guarda. Sono a posto,
The
tesoro.
perished land. The barrier has fallen.
You can feel your stomach cramping. Unlike Boindale, you can't say a word.
The damn Magi only had one job.
So this is what it is like to rise from the dead. I feel nothing. I am left with nothing. My love, my beauty, my home, and my forest. Everything has been taken from me.
Questo coso è
I beg
sospeso.
you, have mercy and put an end to my suffering.
Without even being able to look into her eyes, you recognize the sadness in the elf maiden's expression.
E beh, è un po' difficile guardarla negli occhi, sai com'è, non li ha.
Only be imagined in her current state.
Come hanno fatto gli albi a conquistare...
Garen was here, and I've heard that you elves have special abilities in battle. Did the Alfar take you by surprise in your sleep?
I felt her presence, but when I confronted the elf, she had already killed the first of us and resurrected the perished land. It fills humans and dwarves with a hatred for life. It turns you into beasts. They charge through the village like a fury, and everyone that they killed became one of theirs.
If the perished land spreads further south, then Nodon won't need any orcs, ogres, or Alfar. One human losing their life in the perished land would be enough for the madness to sweep through the land.
Ok, pure gli zombie non me li immaginavo. Decapitiamola.
Your stomach turns, but you know that it's right.
Ah,
You've never seen the twins looking so serious. They would pit themselves against any army of orcs, but this is something beyond their power, and yours.
We need the Magi. They must rebuild the barrier.
però avete visto, è stato soffice come tagliare l'insalata. A parte questo... non riesco a credere che la barriera sia caduta.
I can't believe it. The barrier has fallen. How could that happen?
Who could tell? Anything could go wrong with all that hocus pocus.
It had held back the perished land since the fall of the Fifthlings. Reinforcing the barrier whenever it loses power is the primary duty of the great Magi. I can't imagine how Nodon or anyone else could have broken through it.
You think of the demons mentioned in Garen's letter. You wonder whether it could be possible that a demon from the outer lands might possess powers so great that even the 6 Magi weren't ready for it.
Dobbiamo far sapere a Lot Yohan cosa sta accadendo qui.
We must go to Lot Yonan before the perished land spreads further. He will know what is to be done.
Neither of your companions objects.
Ok. Quindi dobbiamo avanzare, dobbiamo tornare tutto indietro fondamentalmente. Ok, tu mi sblocchi, non tanto il fendente, tanto meno la carica. No, in realtà ci serve tanto il fendente, quindi la carica non ci serve a molto. Ok, continua. Tu invece sblocchi l'attacco in salto, perché ci serve. Ok, statuetta di avorio. Molto preziosa. Che cazzo mi può servire, perdonami? Aumenta maggiore la probabilità di un amico di guadagnare punti A quando li ottieni anche tu. Ok, però non saprei di fatto come aumentarli. Ah, ecco, mi migliora da solo. Dobbiamo ritornare tutto indietro, va bene?
Every evening since you left Greenglade, you have looked at Goren's books and tried to prize out the knowledge that they hold. But now, you must admit to yourself that you can't decipher them. They are written in the learned language for high magi, and Lot Yonan didn't teach you that. However, you're sure that the books are important. Why else would Goren want them sent to Turga the Fair-Faced? You put them away with a sigh, and your eyes remain on the bag that Lot Yonan gave you. Did Goren ask Lot Yonan to return the magical artifacts in the pouch? You pick up the pouch and look at it.
Lot Yonan forbade me from opening the pouch.
The hamlet of Sungird certainly lives up to its name. You arrive. There's a
Bla
shop.
bla bla bla.
A
Dentro
small.
nella bottega? No, non mi interessa.
Just like previous nights, you are haunted by the image of the elf maiden nailed to the tree in Greenglade. You wake from your sleep and look around you. The night is unusually dark. Despite your good dwarven eyes, you can only make out Boendal's outline, even though he's keeping watch only a few steps away. You're about to lie down again, but suddenly feel something cold against your throat. Next to you, the pale face of an elf slides into view.
Good evening. I'm afraid we missed each other in Greenglade, so my companion had to receive you on her own.
Prova a liberarti.
You consider your options, but before you have reached a decision, the dagger is pressed more tightly against your throat, and you feel a second blade at your back.
Quiet now. I'm not going to kill you, not yet. Do you know what I'm going to do instead?
You feverishly search for an answer, but you can't even imagine how an Alfar thinks.
I will kill everyone who means anything to you. I will destroy
Oh, andiamo
your
solo perché ho
life
ucciso
and
la tua
you will
compagna.
sink into hopelessness, groundling. Your downfall is called Synthoras.
You tense your muscles, readying to defend yourself, but suddenly realize that the blade against your throat has disappeared. You look around, astonished. The elf is nowhere to be seen. You look over to Boendal, who is easy to recognize in the bright moonlight. Next to you, Boindil smacks his lips in his sleep. You touch your throat, and when you don't feel anything, you breathe out, relieved.
Just a nightmare.
Credo proprio di no.
At least that's what you tell yourself. But you don't close your eyes for the rest of the night.
Andiamo qui.
You reach Parista and go straight to the seat of the Council of Magi. A worried and grim-looking guard bars your way.
Sorry, we are not to let anyone into the palace.
The guard looks around nervously.
Lightning bolts. A couple of days ago. Not like in a storm, but in all the colours of the rainbow. On the next day, we were told that the Magi had all departed again, and Master Nudin was not to be disturbed. No one has been allowed in the palace since then. Not even us.
The report of lightning bolts doesn't particularly worry you. On the contrary. If the Magi have travelled back to their kingdoms, it can only mean that they were able to reinforce the barrier.
Non credo sia
You are
così
eager to hear
facile.
Lot Yonan's account in the vaults.
Non credo per un cazzo sia così facile.
Boindil unwraps his dwarf cheese again and cooks it on the fire. When he offers you a piece, you take it.
I knew we'd make a dwarf of you in the end.
Yeah.
You chew on the cheese so you don't have to answer. It tastes better than you first thought.
Si sta nanizzando piano piano.
Ah, so we meet again, dear dwarf. Tungdil, wasn't it?
Vediamo cosa hai da vendere per curiosità. Cazzo, abbiamo pochissimi viveri. Sì. Ah, vabbè, me li dai tutti i 61, tanto vale.
You say goodbye to...
Ok. Continuiamo il nostro viaggio. Gioco nero non ancora.
On the way back to Scalebrook, you are greeted by the villagers as Scalebrook saviors and taken to the village elder. He thanks you once again in the name of Scalebrook and offers to put you up for the night. You enjoy a rich stew and spend the night in a freshly made bed in an empty house. There are quite a few of those since the orcs attack.
Ma io
The
nemmeno
next
volevo
morning,
dormire, volevo
you
guadagnare
head
più
off
tempo
again,
possibile, diverso.
refreshed.
Ok, scendiamo. Ok. La via più veloce. 1, 2, 3, 4 e 5. Invece di qui è... Scusate, 1, 2, 3, 4 e 5. Qui è 2, 3, 4 e 5. È uguale fondamentalmente. Però prendiamo la via larga, diciamo. Perché non
Why
l'abbiamo
are the
presa.
Magus's vaults here in the middle of nowhere? And why does the Lord of Yonandar live in a vault and not in a castle?
E che ne so
It's to
io?
do with the magical fields that spread out under Girdlegard. So the 5 magical realms are found where the fields are at their strongest.
And that's why he lives in the vaults? To be closer to the underground magic?
No, it's more to do with security. 200 students of magic and well, a source of almost unlimited magical energy. The Magus thought that an underground vault was a more suitable place to train than Master Nudin's tower in the middle of
Effettivamente sì.
Parista.
Ok. Scendiamo e arrivati qui, signori. Sono costretto a lamentarvi che il tempo è tiranno. Ci becchiamo nel prossimo episodio. Sì, sono molto stronzo.